Namaskaram friends. So in this video, I am going to talk about environment, ecology, biodiversity and climate change and topic related to that. And this news is from the first week of January 2022. So in this video, we are going to discuss about different topics related to environment, ecology, biodiversity and climate change. And it forms a subsection of GS3. In GS3, we know that environment and ecology, biodiversity, economic development, security, disaster management, these six topics are there. So in this video, I am going to talk about environment, ecology, biodiversity. Okay. So let's discuss today's topic. First one is Nilgiri Thar. Okay. Here you can clearly see Nilgiri Thar is there. So we are going to talk about some facts related to Nilgiri Thar. Okay. So Nilgiri Thar is a state animal of Tamil Nadu. Okay. Nilgiri Thar is a state animal of Tamil Nadu, and Tamil Nadu government launched Nilgiri Thar Conservation Project. Remember the name of the project? Nilgiri Thar Conservation Project launched by Tamil Nadu government because Nilgiri Thar is a state animal of that state. And this is an initiative for the conservation of Nilgiri Thar. So remember, Nilgiri Thar Conservation Project is an initiative for the conservation of Nilgiri Thar. Nilgiri Thar is a state animal of state of Tamil Nadu. Under the Nilgiri Thar project, remember the name of the project, under this project, government planned to develop a better understanding of the Nilgiri Thar population. So this project, state government of Tamil Nadu want to understand the population of Nilgiri Thar through various methods. First one is survey and radio telemetry study. Through survey and through radio telemetry study, they want to understand the population of Nilgiri Thar. Second one is reintroduction Thars in their historical habitat. Okay. Earlier, let's say these are the area. Earlier, Nilgiri Thar are located in this area, but now they move on to this area for grazing, for reproduction or for other activity. Sorry. So, government of Tamil Nadu want to reintroduce Nilgiri Thar in its historical habitat. Addresses proximate threats. Government also addresses proximate threat. What are the threats which reduce the population of Nilgiri Thar and try to work on that area. Fourth one is increase public awareness of the species. If public are aware about that species, that means this is a endangered species of that area, so people are not causing harm to that people, and poachers are, and also give punishment to the poacher who are killing that. So through this four method, government of Tamil Nadu want to understand the population of Nilgiri Thar. Okay, so remember these four important units. The project is implemented from 2022 to 2027. Currently, what is today, 17th of March 2023. Okay, so it is implemented from the year of 2022 to 2027. That means for 5 years. Project Nilgiri Thar. Next one is, according to the order, there are multiple references. According to the order, there are multiple references to the Nilgiri Thar in the Tamil Sangam literature. This literature is very important in the cultural and history of India. And in this Tamil Sangam literature, the mention of Nilgiri Thar is there, dating back to 2000 years. Okay, we know that this literature is going back to 2000 years. So mention of Nilgiri Thar in this literature, so that this species is very important in terms of culture, in terms of history, in terms of environment. Late Mesolithic, which is 10,000 years to 4,000 BC, 10,000 years BC to 4,000 BC. Paintings in the late Mesolithic highlight the significance of Thar in folklore, culture, and life. People in paintings, people generally paint the folklore of that area, culture of that area, and life form in that area. So in the late Mesolithic period, which is lie between 10,000 BC to 4,000 BC, mention of Thar in folklore, culture, and life is there. That's why it is also very important in terms of culture also. Okay, here it is important in terms of history, civilization. Here it is important in terms of folklore, culture, and life. It was designated as a state animal in recognition to its ecological and cultural significance. You know that culture mentioned in Sangam literature, folklore of that in late Mesolithic painting, as well as in terms of ecological in terms of ecology also, because it is endangered and very important for that. The animal is endemic to the Western Ghats. Remember, this is the map of India. I'm sorry, this is the map of India. So here, Western Ghat is lie. The west coast of India, Western Ghat is lie. So that Nilgiri Thar is endemic to that Ghat. It is protected under the Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act of India 1972. There are three important, you can say, protection, you can say NGO or act or site. First one is IUCN, second one is WPA, and next one is, I think, there is one more. I do not remember the name, but there is one more organization which work in the field of conservation of endangered, critical, endangered, extinct, involved on all those species. So IUCN, WPA, and one more, I do not remember the name, but one more is there also. It is Nilgiri Thar is an endangered species and the sole caprine species. What is caprine? Look like a goat. Species which is look like a goat or similar to it called a caprine species. So it is an endangered species and a sole caprine species found in the tropical mountain of southern India. Remember, southern India, tropical, in the tropical mountain of southern India, this endangered species is found and it is the sole caprine species. The animal inhabits meadows with steep cliff. Okay, let's say this is the southern India. So here tropical mountains are present. So on the cliff of this tropical mountain, these Nilgiri Thar inhabits, and on the meadows of this cliff. And these cliffs are elevation of these cliffs is between 300 meter to 2,600 meter above the sea level. Okay, that means these Thar are living on the cliffs of the tropical mountain in the southern India and ranges from 300 to 2,600 meter above the sea level. It is estimated that there are 3,122 Nilgiri Thar in the world. So in the world, only this much Nilgiri Thar is left. That is, it is a very concern for the environmentalist, biodiversity person, for the scientist also, because this population is very, that's why it is categorized into the endangered species, endangered criteria in the IUCN list. And it is, remember, in the Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection. That means the most protection is given to that Nilgiri Thar. And another additional information is the word of which I told you about it. Caprine refer to a being or pertaining to or resembling to a goat. What is the meaning of caprine? Pertaining to, resembling to, like a goat. Okay. So I hope you understand the whole idea related to Nilgiri Thar. Okay. In terms of its significance in culture, in environment, in life, in folklore, because it is in Sangam literature is mentioned there, in late Mesolithic painting its mention is there. They are endemic to Western Ghat, living in the tropical mountain of southern India and inhabit meadows with a steep cliffs which range from 300 to 2,600 meter above the sea level, and number of population which are living in the wild of Nilgiri Thar of 3,120. Okay, so you can clearly see in this picture. This is the picture of Nilgiri Thar. Remember, in the tropical mountain of southern India and on the cliffs, on the meadows of the cliffs. So in background you can clearly see meadow. Here in rock you can clearly see a cliff. These are Nilgiri Thar. Okay, and range of this cliff is 300 meter to 2,600 meter. Okay, so just scan the picture of Nilgiri Thar in your mind so that whenever you talk about or understand and think about Nilgiri Thar, this picture come into your mind. Again, next in this picture you can clearly see, here you can clearly see meadows of the tropical cliff mountain of southern India, and these are cliffs. Okay, Nilgiri Thar is sitting there. So I hope you understand the whole idea of Nilgiri Thar. Now we are going to move on to the second topic called red sanders. See, red sanders is a flora species. That means related to plant. Red sanders is a flora species. It is endemic to a distinct tract of forest, not everywhere in the forest, in the distinct tracts of forest in the eastern Ghat region of Andhra Pradesh. Okay, this is the map of India. So in this part of India, in the eastern Ghats region of Andhra Pradesh. Here Andhra Pradesh is located. So in the eastern Ghat of Andhra Pradesh, in the distinct tract of forest, these red sanders species is found. And it is fall under the endangered list. Remember, red sanders fall under the endangered list. Yeah, I remember the next sites. What I told you, I forgot. Na? One is WPA, next one is IUCN, and third one is sites. These are three important organizations which are working on the protection of endangered species and protect them in the wild, in the forest, as well as in the zoos. So red sanders is endangered list in the IUCN red list. IUCN released a book. Its pages are red. That's why the book is called IUCN red list. And the name of species, its status, all things. That's why that it is called red list of IUCN, and it is released by the IUCN. IUCN means International Union for Conservation of Nature. Remember, sites IUCN and WP. So red sanders endemic to distinct forest of eastern Ghat region of Andhra Pradesh is fall under the endangered list, as well as it is put under the red list of IUCN in the endangered category. It also fall into the appendix 2 of CITES. CITES means Conservation on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wildlife. Remember the name. Convention of International Trade. That means international trade going on between the species flora and fauna. So Convention on International Trade of Endangered Species of Wildlife flora and fauna. Remember, wildlife flora and fauna, endangered and international trade. When international trade is going from one country to another country, endangered species of wildlife flora, then that site list that species in the category in whichever appendix they want. So currently site listed red sanders in the appendix 3 of the sites. Its rich hue, hue means color. Its rich hue and therapeutic property, that means and help in therapy of any disease. So its rich hue and therapeutic properties are responsible for its high demand across Asia. Okay, the red sanders are very much in demand in the Asia and particularly in China for its use in cosmetics, in medicinal products, high-end furniture and wood. So in cosmetics, red sanders are used in medicinal products. Red sanders are used as well as in high-end furniture okay. That's why it is very much in demand in the Asia and particularly in the China. The export of red sanders from India is prohibited as per the foreign trade policy. So as per the foreign trade policy, trade is prohibited. If any person trade red sanders outside of India, it is illegal because through the foreign trade policy, it is illegal for trading red sanders outside of India. So I hope you understand the whole idea about red sanders, its categorization in IUCN and sites where it is put, what are its importance, where it is found. Okay, so it is found in the distinct tract of Eastern Ghat of Andhra Pradesh, endangered in the IUCN appendix 2 in the sites. Its property, its therapeutic, it is high, very much in demand in Asia due to therapeutic property, and it is used in the cosmetic, medicinal product, and high-end furniture. Okay, and it is illegal. Its export of red sanders is illegal from India. So I hope you understand the whole idea of red sanders. Now let's look at the picture of red sanders clearly. This is a wood, red in color. Okay, and it contains many medicinal properties. In this picture also you can see picture of red sanders. They are wood red in color. Okay, so I hope you understand it. Now we are moving on to the third topic called Antarctic Treaty. Antarctic, we know that in our continent, Antarctica is located in the North Pole region, in the South Pole region. In the South Pole region, Antarctic is located. So the Antarctic Treaty, I'm sorry, Antarctic. This one is Arctic. The Antarctic Treaty and related agreement, collectively known as the Antarctic Treaty System. So Antarctic Treaty and other related agreements are called as a ATS or Antarctic Treaty System. It regulates international relations. These ATS regulate international relations with respect to Antarctica. So remember, ATS regulate international relations with respect to Antarctica. Antarctica is Earth's only continent without any native human. population there are living. Let's say population from, let's say, human being going for research purposes, for educational purposes in Antarctica from the continent of Asia and Africa. But there is without no native people in Antarctica is found. So remember, very, very important. Next one is, it was the first arms control agreement. It is the first arms control agreement established during the Cold War. During the Cold War, ATS is established and it is the first arms control agreement. That means prohibition of arms is prohibition of arms takes place in this agreement. This setting aside a continent as a scientific preserve. So through this agreement talk about arms control agreement. So this agreement setting aside a continent as a scientific preserve, establishing freedom of scientific investigation and banning military activity. That means military activity is banned in the Antarctic region, and scientific investigation is freedom of scientific investigation is going on in that region. It means for scientific investigation you can go in that region, but for military activity or for proliferation of arms you do not go there. It is completely written in the agreement in the ATS. For the purpose of the treaty system, Antarctica is defined as all the land and ice shelves south of 60-degree latitude. When you look at the map, here you can look at the map. This is the 60-degree altitude. So this one is the 60-degree altitude, I think. Yes, this one is a 60-degree altitude. So all the land and ice shelves look like this. Here you can clearly see these are ice shelves. Okay, a large chunk of ice collected over the water. These are called ice shelves. So all the land and ice shelves south of 60 degrees south latitude. So these are the latitude of 60 degrees south of the 60 degrees south latitude, all the land and ice shelves are considered as Antarctica, but not the surrounding water. Remember, ice shelves, land and ice shelves, but not the water. The treaty aims to prohibiting nuclear explosion or disposal of radioactive waste. So this treaty banned the prohibition of this treaty aims at prohibiting the nuclear explosion. So this treaty prohibits the explosion of nuclear weapons as well as disposal of radioactive waste. So this treaty is very, very important. This treaty is talk about freedom of scientific investigation and banning military activity as well as banning nuclear explosion or disposal of radioactive waste. Because if that treaty not doing this, many people go in Antarctica because there is a large space present. So many countries go there for their military achievement, for dumping their waste, as well as for conducting exercises which are not beneficial for the other country. That was this treaty is on where you can go there for scientific investigation, for exploration, but not for military expansion. So I hope you understand the whole idea of Antarctica Treaty. Okay, the whole Antarctica Treaty, another treaty combined is called ATS, and this treaty is prohibiting nuclear arms weaponization as well as nuclear explosion and radioactive waste disposal, and given freedom to scientific investigation. No native people, no native as a human of this continent is living in. So I hope you understand the whole idea of Antarctica Treaty. And you can clearly see this is the beautiful picture of Antarctica. This is a scenic view of Antarctica. A mountain is present, ice is deposited there, water is present, and ice is floating here and there. So now let's move on to the next topic called CBD, Convention on Biological Diversity. There are three important, you can say, agreement come out from the Rio Earth Summit of 1992. One of them is a CBD, Convention on Biological Diversity. Another one is UNFCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Next one is Convention on Combating Desertification, CCD. So three agreements, CCD, CBD, and UFCC are three agreements come out from the Rio or Summit of 1992. So this meeting is important, and all these three are also important. So here we are talking about Convention on Biological Diversity, CBD, a major international environmental conference. Okay, CBD is a major international environmental conference. Remember, major. First of all, major. Second one is international, then environmental. So, major international environmental conference just concluded in Montreal, Canada, promising to take urgent action to protect and restore the world's biodiversity. So, Convention on Biological Diversity, as the name suggests, so the meeting of CBD is currently concluded in the Montreal, Canada, and member countries take place for urgent action to protect and restore the world's biodiversity. It is very, very important. Biodiversity are very important for thriving life on planet. Signatory of the convention, signatory to the CBD. CBD is a 1993 agreement. Meet every 2 years. Remember, meeting of CBD is going on every 2 years. That is once in a 2 year, biannual. Not annually like the climate meeting. Okay, most of the meetings are held on annually, but CBD is held on biannually to work on the uh, to work on a global plan to halt biodiversity loss and restore natural ecosystem. Okay, so signatory to the CBD work on a global plan to halt biodiversity loss and restore natural ecosystem. Whatever biodiversity loss is happened, they want to halt on that level as well as restore the natural ecosystem. So this is the global plan of the signatory of CBD. Remember the global plan. Halt biodiversity loss and restore natural ecosystem. The Montreal meeting was 15th edition of this conference. Okay, so remember the Montreal meeting, which is concluded recently, is a 15th edition of this conference with CBD. Hence the name COP15. COP15 means Conference of Party 15. Meeting is 15 and COP means Conference of Party. Conference of Party of CBD is met for 15th time. That's why we call it as a COP15. The Montreal Conference has delivered a new agreement. This conference will deliver a new agreement called the Global Biodiversity Framework, GBF. Remember, this Montreal Conference, which is concluded recently, delivered a new agreement called the Global Biodiversity Framework, GBF, which contains 4 goals and 23 agreements. In GBF, 4 goals and 23 agreements are there that need to be achieved by 2030. So by the end of 2030, GBF plan to achieve the 4 goals and 23 target. And GBF is a new agreement, the CBD, or you can say COP15 of CBD. The GBF is being compared to the 2015 Paris Agreement on Climate Change. In 2050, look like GBF we can say agreement is proposed, which is called Paris Agreement. So GBF is look like that, and that is guiding global climate action. Okay, so GBF is being compared to 2015, that is guiding global climate action. So in that time, from 2015 to 2020, Paris Agreement is very much in use and it guides the global. And GBF is, many people say that it is GBF is compared to Paris Agreement of 2000. The UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, that is UNFCC and CBD were both outcomes of 1992 Rio Earth Summit. Remember, UNFCC and CBD are outcome of Rio Earth Summit and was the third member of the family, the Convention of Combat Desertification, which deals especially with the issue of land degradation. So three important organizations which come from the 1992 Earth Summits are UNFCC, CBD, and CCD. Convention on Combat Desertification is the third member of the family of 1992. 1992 Rio Earth Summit is a family, and its members are UNFCC, United Nations Convention on Climate Change, CBD, Convention on Biological Diversity, and CCD, Convention to Combat Desertification. So this one is deal with land degradation, this one is deal with biodiversity, and this one is deal with climate change. Okay, so Paris Agreement is related to this GBF is related to this, and CCD, there are many things are going on in CCD also. So I hope you understand the whole idea of CBD, Convention on Biological Diversity. Okay, new proposed GBF agenda, role of signatory of the CBD, as well as what are the goals and target which are achieved by 2030. So I hope you understand the whole concept of CBD. So in this picture, you can clearly see people writing agreement or target, setting target and goals for the CBD. And in this picture, you can clearly see Convention of Biological with different biodiversity which are present in the forest or in the other hotspot areas. Okay, so different types of biodiversity: flowers, reptiles, birds, okay, mammals, aves, amphibians. So I hope you understand the whole idea of CBD. Now let's move on to the next topic called Asian elephant. A recent article says, endangered Asian elephant. Endangered Asian elephant has lost most of its optimal habitat. A recent article said that endangered Indian elephant lost most of its optimal habitat. Optimal habitat for elephants are flat terrain that is easily negotiable. Okay, flat terrain which is easily negotiable is a optimal habitat for endangered Asian elephant. Remember, endangered. It is in need of protection is there. The Western Ghat is an encarpment. Encarpment means a slope type region. So a Western Ghat is an encarpment running north to south along the western coast. This is a map of India. So and this is the west side of India. Just a minute. So this is the west side of India. So the encarpment of Western Ghat from north to south. This one is north, this one is south. From the north to south along the western coast of India. I'm sorry, Western. It talks about Western Ghat. So Western Ghat is an encarpment running north to south along the western coastline of India. So this one, let's say, just a minute. This is a map of India. So here is the western coastline. So this is the western coastline, and along the western coastline, encarpment of region running north to south along this coastline is called Western Ghat. So this one black is a Western Ghat. So this Western Ghat interrupted toward the south by low-lying Palghat Gap. This Western Ghat is interrupted here by the low-lying Palghat Gap. Here a Palghat Gap is present, and this Western Ghat is interruption of this Western Ghat is take place here. That separates the northern from the southern elephant population. Elephant population are living throughout the Western Ghat, but this Palghat Gap divides the northern elephant from the southern. This gap has been transformed by agriculture for several centuries. And this gap, Palghat Gap, is transformed by agriculture for several centuries. Farmers and local people are cultivating that land and sowing plants, cultivating trees, and agriculture activities going on. And this Palghat Gap separates the northern elephant from the southern elephant. And this Palghat is a 3 kilometer at its narrowest and 40 kilometer at its widest. That means this one is 3 kilometer and 40 kilometer. This one is 3 kilometer and this one is 40 kilometer. So this gap is look like this. Just see now. Let's say this is a map of India. So here Palghat Gap is present. Okay, so this gap is like this. Okay, 40 kilometer in wide. Narrowest is 33 kilometer and 40 kilometer its widest. Okay. Palghat Gap is a break in the ghats. This Palghat Gap is a break in the ghats that is relatively flat and consequently easily negotiable by elephant. This Palghat gap is a flat. Okay, it's like a flat, this type, and it is very easy for elephants to roaming in this gap. But due to agricultural activity, farmers and local people of that region restrict the free movement of elephants. However, human settlements in crop cultivation have hindered the movement of elephants. What I talk about human settlement, many people build their houses and live there. So human settlement and crop cultivation, they cultivate crop in that area also. So these are houses are present, and these are their fields where the cultivation of crops is going on. So due to settlement, human settlement and crop cultivation, this hindered the movement of elements, keeping them confined to hilly areas. Okay, due to agriculture, due to human settlement, due to crop cultivation, elephants are confined to the hilly area considered suboptimal habitat. That hilly area is not much very suitable for elephants, but due to this activity, they are confined in the hilly tracts of uh, Western Ghats. Over thousands of years, elephants roamed freely across Southeast Asia all the way to China. Okay, over thousands of years, elephants roamed freely across Southeast Asia all the way to China, but anthropogenic pressures have restricted them to mountain chains. Okay, earlier when the plains are flat, elephants have moved from India to Southeast Asia to China. But due to agriculture, due to human settlement, due to crop cultivation, elephants are confined in the hilly area, and that area is suboptimal, you can say habitat, not a optimal habitat. Optimal habitat for endangered elephants of Asia is a flat terrain. Ironically, most elephant reserves in India are found in the mountain habitat. It is very ironic that most elephant reserve in India is found in the mountainous habitat. In the mountainous habitat, because people in the plain area, people cultivate, people live, people do different activity, and when elephant comes, they you can say uh, just disperse them in jungles, in forest, and in hilly area. That's why population of elephant is restrained in the hilly area, and it is not good. We have to live in sync, or you can say in sync, in a sync with the plants, animal, and human being. Then only our life is growth of our life happen, conservation of population happen, conservation of plant happen, and when all these things are lived in a mutual relationship, then each and every life prosper in its full potential. When we destroy the plant, we destroy the air. When we, you can say, not providing animals and other species their habitat, that means they are extinct, and we do not see that species, and many biodiversity, ecological, environmental processes are going on with the help of the species that are here, and it also impacts the life of human. So it is very important that we have to understand the life in its whole form, plants, animal, human life, and live in a mutually, you can say, in a mutual environment, so that each and every life form is benefited from one another. In this picture, you can clearly see a Western Ghat. This one is a Ghat, and here is a Palghat. What we talk about is, it is a gap, narrowest gap here. It, you can say, uh, divide northern elephant from the southern. And in this picture, you can clearly see the picture of a and scan the map of India. This one is Western Ghat, this one is Palghat Hill. Okay, remember the map, and this one is the Western coastline. And also in this picture, you can clearly see the picture of Asian elephant. Okay, these are Asian elephant. Clearly see its ear, its eye, its tail. And in this picture, you can clearly see other Asian elephant with their children. Okay, I think this one is a male. I think whatever, this one is a female, and there is their children. Their child. Okay, now let's move on to the, I think this is the end of this environment, ecology, and biodiversity topic. So we, in this discussion video, we talk about 5 important topics. Okay, first one is Nilgiri Thar. Look at the picture. Second one is red sanders. Look at the picture. Then Antarctic Treaty. Look at the picture of Antarctica. Then Convention of Biological Diversity (CBD). Look at the biodiversity, different biodiversity. Next one is Asian elephant. Look at the. So 5 important topics are Nilgiri Thar, Red Sanders, Antarctic Treaty, CBD, and Asian elephant. Remember important point related to these 5 topics. Nilgiri Thar, Western Tract of the Western Ghats, and the hilly mountains which are ranging from 300 meters to 206 meters from the sea level. This is the species of endangered species and found it is endemic to southern India. Okay, and this is a state animal of Tamil Nadu and very significant for cultural perspective, for historical perspective, for ecological perspective. Okay, so Nilgiri project is launched by the government of Tamil Nadu, which runs from 2022 to 2027. Red Sanders endangered. It is put in the endangered list of. You can say it is Nilgiri Thar in the schedule 1 of WPA. Red Sanders in the you can say in the site or in the IUCN, it is put in the endangered list and site is pending too. Okay, and it is due to its hue and its therapeutic behavior. It is very much in demand in Asia, and particularly in China, and people use it in its use of red sanders is going on in cosmetic, in medicine, in woodcraft, in furniture. Okay, Antarctic Treaty, collective treaty is called ETS, Antarctic Treaty System. Here, countries' freedom of scientific investigation is there, but restriction or prohibition of nuclear explosion, disposal of radioactive waste, and ban on arms and ammunition is given in that treaty, and signatory of that treaty, signatory of CBD, you can say focus on global agenda of the signatory of CBD is to restore ecology as well as halt the biodiversity loss. Okay, and last one is Asian elephant. Asian elephant endangered. Asian elephant is endangered. Okay, and is a Palghat gap divide the southern elephant from northern elephant due to you can say human settlement, crop cultivation, and agriculture. This plain region, which is the optimal habitat for the Asian elephant, are restricted by the human beings, and they live in a hilly terrain which is suboptimal for this Asian elephant. Okay, so these are the important concepts related to these 5 topics. Now we are going to solve one question based on it. One question from each and every topic. That means 5 questions. Let's solve the 5 questions. Just a minute. So these 5 questions are, first one is, consider the following statement. First statement is, Tamil Nadu government recently launched Nilgiri Thar Conservation Project, an initiative for the conservation of Nilgiri Thar. Yes. There are multiple references to Nilgiri Thar in Tamil Sangam literature. Yes. This literature is 2000 years old. And also its mention is found in the late Mesolithic painting, which are 10,000 to 4,000 BC old. Nilgiri Thar is an endangered species endemic to Western Ghats. Yes. All the statement 1, 2, and 3 are correct. Let's just check we are on the right path or not. Option D is correct. That means we are on the right path. Now let's move on to the next question. Consider the following statement regarding red sanders. First one is red sanders is a flora species that is endemic to Western Ghats. No, endemic. It is not endemic, and it is endemic, but not Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats. Okay, and I think it is a flora. It is a flora species. This one is correct, but this one is not. Second is, it is listed under the endangered list in the IUCN red list. Yes, this one is correct. The export of red sanders from India is prohibited. Statement 2 is correct, 3 is correct, 1 is wrong. That means option C is correct. Just check we are on the right path or not. C is correct. That means 2 and 3 are correct. Now let's move on to the next question. ATS. Consider the following statement regarding Antarctica Treaty System. It was the first arms control agreement established during the Cold War, setting aside the continent as a scientific reserve and establishing freedom of scientific investigation. This one is correct. It is the first arms control agreement established during the Cold War. There are many arms agreements, but during the Cold War, this is the first arms control agreement. Under the treaty, Antarctica is defined as all land and ice shelf south 60 degrees south, including the surrounding water. No, it not included the surrounding water. This one is wrong. The treaty aimed at preventing nuclear explosion or disposal of radioactive waste in the air. 1 is correct, 3 is correct. That means option B is correct. Just check we're on the right path or not. Option B is correct. That means we are on the right path. Now let's move on to the next question. Consider the following statement. Statement 1 is signatory to the Convention on Biological Diversity meet annually, no, biannually. This one is wrong. The 15th Conference of Party to the Convention on Biological Diversity deliver a new agreement called the, just a minute, called the GPF, yes, which contain goals and targets that need to be achieved by 2020. Yes, there are 4 goals and 23 targets, I think, and it is achieved by 2020. This one is correct. Convention on Biological Diversity was outcome of the 1992 Rio Earth Summit. 3 outcomes: UNFCCC, CBD, and CCD. Convention on Combating Desertification, Convention on Biological Diversity. So 2 is correct, 3 is correct. That means option C is correct. Just check we're on the right path or not. Option C is correct. That means we are on the right path. Now let's move on to the last question. Consider the following statement. Palghat Gap is a major break in the Western Ghat mountain range located between Nilgiri Hills and Annamala. Yes, this one is correct. Most elephant reserves in India are found in the flat terrain. Most of them are found in the hilly terrain, which is suboptimal for Asian elephant. Asian elephant has been listed as an endangered or the IUCN species. 1 is correct, 3 is correct. That means option C is correct. Just check we're on the right path or not. Option C is correct. That means we are on the right path. So I hope you understand the whole topic, enjoy the whole topic, and gain some perspective, some knowledge related to these topics of environment, ecology, biodiversity, and climate change. So, namaskaram. Thank you.